Thank you to Rabbi Gurkov and to Rabbi Rappaport for the very, very inspiring pastime of this Farbrengen and to all of the speakers. But we're sitting over here and it's definitely unique. Maybe not as unique as it used to be. We may be getting used to this idea of having 24-hour Farbrengens. It's not as exciting as it once was, but to think of this idea that we're living in a world where Pashit, Chassidim, Yidden, anybody can connect with Kahal Adas Chassidim and Shluchim around the world for a me'es la'es for 24 hours around one idea, one topic, to inspire each other, to farbring with each other, to encourage each other, to make the Rebbe's challenge and calling to each and every chassid a reality, and more of a reality than it was yesterday, and more importantly, a reality that can, Emir Hashem, change the way the world exists in its current format and create a Mashiach reality. The Rebbe in years ago, when the radio waves came out, the Rebbe spoke about how when you speak on the radio, the waves exist forever. How much more so today when this Farbrengen is being recorded. I think sometimes when we think about this idea and this calling of Tut Alts, it sounds very lofty, very big. Some of the Farbrengen today, was inspirational. Some of it was philosophical. Some of it was theoretical. Some of it was a calling to action. But when you take a moment and you think about how, if this is possible, what we're doing today over here, Farbrengen for 24 hours straight, and talking about something that was so close and important, and you were able to see when the Rebbe spoke about it, from Basi Lagani Tavshin Yud Aleph, all the way till the last sikha that we heard, where the Rebbe was empowering us to be able to live a more Mashiach-tic life, a more fulfilling life. And you think about it through the lens of even this Farbrengen, that what became possible in that time, you'll realize that if you just stopped right now, and before we Farbrengen, and before we talk, and before we think, and you just clicked on the One Mitzvah platform link, and you created your own page, and you think to yourself, who exists in my life, whether it's on your WhatsApp status, whether it's in your Facebook page, on your Instagram, your Twitter, whether it's your doctor, your lawyer, your partner, your friend, a family member, wherever you are, there has to be 50, 100, 200, 300 people in your life that you can inspire, that you can call on, that you can take as your project to do another mitzvah, to tip the scale, to see the whole world as it's an olam shakel, and you are able to tip the scale and to give the Rebbe that gift of another mitzvah and another mitzvah and a mitzvah geredes mitzvah, and people changing their lives. It's not a theoretical idea. This is something that is so real, so practical, that I don't even know that we need to talk the philosophy behind it. Just do it. Just stop. Tut als means just stop what you're doing now and create yourself a goal. And it's a goal that you can always increase. Start with 1,000 mitzvahs, with 2,000 mitzvahs. Get 10 people to do a mitzvah. It can be learning Torah. It can be Avos Yisrael. It can be tzedakah. It can be tefillin. There are 613 mitzvahs in so many different variables that if we recognized that our ability, and not think that, it's such a lofty, far-off idea, but it's a real practical thing. When we started out in Merkos over here, a lot of our dreams were dreams at the time. The world was a very, very different world, and Baruch Hashem, there were thousands of shluchim and successful shluchim, and everybody was really like, it was tens of years after Gimel Tammuz when everybody thought everything would end, and shlichus was growing, and the Anash communities were growing, and we were thinking, what value could we even add to the world of shlichus, to the world of Chabad? And we started to do, and as you start doing, you start realizing how much more there is to do, because the Rebbe's calling was every Yid everywhere, or even every person everywhere. Sheva mitzvahs, but every Yid everywhere. Let's start with that. For that to happen, it's not, how many people could one person influence? Yeah, you can do things online, and you can do things in that have wide ranging impact, but then the effect is not as strong. If you want to be able to encourage people to become a vayikra, one of the things that always struck me when you learn Basi Lagani Tafshin Yud Aleph, you go back to the beginning, to the Rebbe's, you want to say, mission statement, to make a direh b'tachtonim. The first time the Rebbe said that don't think you're going to get off the hook easy. It's the idea where the Rebbe was trying and pushing and encouraging and inspiring, and more important, believing in every chassid or every yid to be able to make this world a direh b'tachtonim, to make a basi lagani, to make this world a garden, a place where the Eibishter becomes a reality. If you transport yourself back to 1951 and you think about what Jewish world looked like then, right after the Holocaust, America was a melting pot. There were no kosher restaurants. There were very few Shomer Shabbos Yidden. And the Rebbe set out a goal where he painted a world seemingly that looks similar to the one that we live in now. And how did he want to do it? Al tikr vayikra ela vayakri. At the end of Basi Lagani Tafshin Aleph, the Rebbe says something so powerful. The Rebbe says that every single Yid has to be like Avraham Avinu, that inspires and connects with other Yidden. The Rebbe talked at a different point about bringing 10 Yidden to the Rebbe, everybody taking a goal of bringing 10 Yidden. But whatever that number of Yidden that you can influence, and your job is not only to touch and inspire them, but to turn them into influencers, to make them al tikr vayikra ela vayakri. Not only that you read it yourself, you get somebody else to read it and call out, and not only to call out to read it, to call out in the Eibishter's name, and to be a live shining example of what it means to be a proud Jew. At that time, it was a far-fetched idea. Today, it's not such a far-fetched idea. Baruch Hashem, there's a lot to be proud of. For Yidden and for Fruma Yidden, there's a lot that was accomplished. But the Rebbe says at the end of Basi Lagani that until the person that you created to become an influencer doesn't make someone else an influencer, you yourself cannot appreciate the idea of Vayikra, the idea of any idea you want to be able to understand and internalize, any ruchniistic, a spiritual idea, any idea that you want to be able to internalize and grasp and feel and understand and reach, any level you want to reach, you cannot successfully reach that until the person you influence continues to influence others. It's not Chavches Nissen, it's Basi Lagani Yud Shvat Tafshin Yud Aleph. And that's what the Rebbe created with the world of Shluchim, and with the Kehillas of Anash, and with every single Yid that the Rebbe came to the Rebbe, whether it was for dollars, and the Rebbe gave $1 and said, give this to someone else, inspire someone else. The Rebbe's whole life, this morning, I Baruch Hashem, being over here in Merkos, in headquarters, so I get to do some interesting things. And a shliach called me from Australia, Menachem Wolf, right before Shabbos. He said, a crazy hashgacha pratis. I reached out to an extremely influential, one of the most influential people in Australia before Pesach. He was speaking about retiring, and he wants to spend more time with the family, and spending time with your family is also a mitzvah, and it's something that we want to encourage, family life. And I reached out to him after his speech, and we connected and we started talking. And then I see that he's in New York, and this is literally one of the most influential people in Australia, the head of the sports leagues over there, very, very powerful position. And I saw he was in New York. I told him he has to go to the oil. Would you take him to the oil? And I said, look, if I can be of help, I can be of help. And along with him came an extremely influential businessman from Australia, who's a friend of his. We spent this morning about 3 hours by the oil discussing, this idea of, why so many years later, you see thousands of Yidden. We were standing outside just talking, watching. There were very few Lubavitcher Yidden there, besides for the people that came to get engaged, that deserve a mazel tov, right? It's such a living place. You're coming here, this guy and his friend came. It's a cemetery, and at the same time, it's so alive. It's so alive because the Rebbe lived a selfless life for everybody else, and all we can give back to the Rebbe is to wake up in the morning and to live a selfless life, not to think about, what I'm going to benefit from it, what I'm going to gain from it, how is it. What does the Rebbe want me to do today? What does the Eibishter want for me to do right now? How can I reach out to? Who can I reach out to become a mitzvah ambassador? How do I inspire people that I am in touch with? If you're in business, if you're a shliach, this is built into your into what you do. But even a business, and you come across a person, think about it. It goes back how Yom Yom discusses it. Chassidus speaks about it. When two Jews meet, talk in Indian, just make it real. Make it something. And this is when I was listening this morning, the Hashkacha Pratis on the way to the oil. I turned on the car. There's a Sikh of Chavches. Nissen was playing. It was on one of the stations, and it was playing. And the punkt reached this part where the Rebbe says, and to me at least, it's heart wrenching, and you cry when you hear the Rebbe talk like that. And at the same time, if you listen to the words that the Rebbe says, it's not despair. The Rebbe is not giving up. It's not. I tried. I wanted to bring Mashiach, and I want to bring Mashiach, and everything seemingly that I did till now, if Mashiach's not here, was the Rebbe used certain words over there that it's schrecklich to think that the Rebbe could say such things about all of the accomplishments they have. But what was the takeaway? What was the Rebbe's point? If 1 Yid, 2 Yids, 3, wake up in the morning and connect to this way of life, become an ambassador, become a shliach, become someone whose whole purpose in life is only to inspire others, to look at the world through the glasses, so to say, of Mashiach, of the Rebbe. It's just something that the Rebbe trained us all the years of the Nesius. Anytime somebody had an issue, you look through Igris, read the letters, and look at any answer. Check the tefillin, check your mezuzahs. Maybe there's something not kosher going on. Tarsa mishpacha. In any issue, the Rebbe right away connected it back to the lens of Torah, to the lens of Chassidus. Look, how does the Eibishter see the world? Our reality is a Mashiach reality. Mola Aretz Deas Hashem. What is Mashiach? Mashiach is not the Mashiach like the Alter Rebbe said to the people that were discussing what's going to happen, who Mashiach is going to be. He said the Mashiach you're waiting for is never going to come. We're not waiting for the Madanim to offer. We're not waiting for the Grubbe, for us Chazir Torah, and for all of those things to happen. The Mashiach in Yiddishkeit is Pashat Achdus Hashem. You're able to wake up in the morning. You're able to see a reality and connect with the reality. See the world the way the Rebbe saw it. Can you imagine living in a world that you see and experience every moment of your day the way the Rebbe experienced and saw the world? And the Rebbe gave us the tools and told us how to do it. Wake up in the morning, Shulchan Aruch, Chassidus, learn, daven, but that's all secondary to Al Tikri Vayikra El Vayakra. You need to inspire other people. You need to connect to other people. Connect other people with the Rebbe, connect other people back to Yiddishkeit, and make them reach their friends. A few years ago, as we were developing the different support and systems in Merkos 302 for the world of Shluchim, as the Kinnis HaShluchim would come and they needed a new Achlata, and every year the Kinnis HaShluchim would launch a new Achlata support, Achlatas HaKinnis to support the Shluchim, whether it's the Shluchim, their wives, their kids, for the growth of their community. So we had an opportunity, Baruch Hashem, to dream a little bit. It was a Balabas, a friend of ours, that had a very big exit. We got the $100 million, although we got over the years quite a bit of it. But it gave us the ability to think and to dream. And we created a global Jewish youth conference. I think Moshe Rappaport was there looking over here. And we brought together many, many shluchim from all different demographics and all different age groups. And it was a fascinating few days to hear what's going on in the world of shlichus and to think about the next frontiers. And there must have been 100 achlatas that came out, and a lot of them already came out bepoil. Over the years, the things that we've been doing came directly from the shluchim that were at that conference. We brought professionals. It was a fascinating exercise, so to say. And one of the things that came out of that was a shift from this idea that Chabad is everywhere geographically, right? We always said, Chabad is everywhere. Wherever there's Coca-Cola, there's Chabad. If you go to Mars or the moon, you'll find Chabad, right? It was always Chabad is everywhere. To shifting one step forward, the demographics that we need to reach everyone, every yid everywhere. And that's where we created the networks of kids, to see kids together with Sivas Hashem and the Chabad Teen Network that literally was created out of nothing through the C-Team team, which is Baruch Hashem. You watch today's day and age, teenagers who are coming from public schools give up everything to be able to learn Torah, to be able to have a Yiddish experience, to be able to, this year alone, how many weddings we're proud to say is part of the C-Team family. And same thing with Chabad on Campus, which predates this conference, but there was some idea in Chabad Young Professionals. But this idea of demographics, this is something that really, to reach the next level, if you want to talk about exponential growth, if you want to talk business terms, if this is where we're at, to use business terminology to inspire us to reach the next level, if we want to go to the tipping point, every shliach Baruch Hashem, there's 5,500 shluchim. That makes 11,000 between the shluchim and the shluchos with their kids. You can add some, but if everybody reaches in a real way 100, 200, 300 Jews, it's a finite number. It's a number that's limited. It's not every yid everywhere. The only way to reach every yid everywhere is by tapping into this one mitzvah platform. And the idea, like the Rebbe spoke, these ideas aren't new. The Rebbe spoke about them. If we only did what the Rebbe told us to do, we only did what the Rebbe showed us to do in the sichos all along, and in the mechtavim, and the Rebbe planted all the seeds. We just have to pick them up, and it comes real. In the Kinnas HaShluchim, the Rebbe spoke about every single yid needs to be empowered to reach out to his friends and to his community and to the people that he knows. And Baruch Hashem, today there are resources. You have the One Mitzvah platform. You have the excuse to create a page and to create your own website, take your own goal, whether it's for your birthday, whether it's for Achlat Teva, whether it's from now till Shavuos, or pick a week, pick a day where you can have an excuse to call your friends and call people and say, look, I took on to raise 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 mitzvahs. It's like any charity campaign, but instead of asking for, like when we were kids going on Mitzvayim, you would come to the person you wanted to give money. We were all sure. No, we came to give a Dvar Torah. We didn't come for money. No, we came to put on tefillin. Let's go back to that place where not everything is always about money. Let's raise mitzvahs. Let's reach people and inspire them to then create a page. Let's see how many people not only can create a page, but part of your challenge should be how many people you can get for their bar mitzvah, for their wedding, for their whatever registry they would create for gifts. Let them create a team page or a web page on the One Mitzvah platform where they can inspire their friends. And like that, the rule of numbers just keep on growing, where we can exponentially really reach every single yid to be able to do a mitzvah and to be able to be connected to the Rebbe as a gift to the Rebbe for his 120th birthday, be inspired by the Inyana D'Yoma, and ultimately really be able to create this reality of Mashiach in this world. We'll be reunited with our Rebbe speedily in our days. L'chaim Chasidim, L'chaim.